The Nasdaq down 78. Dow and DuPont made it official, announcing an all-stock merger that, if approved by U.S. antitrust regulators, will see the combined company, worth $130 billion, actually split into three separate entities, one each focusing on agriculture, material sciences, and specialty products. Retail sales edge higher in November, up 0.2%. More money was spent on clothing, sporting goods, and new electronics. And a short-term stopgap budget bill that'll keep the federal government up and running only through next Wednesday was passed by the Senate yesterday and the House today as lawmakers work on a longer-term solution. President Obama is expected to sign that temporary bill on his desk today. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
Kcaa's Creation wants to remind everyone that the holiday season is a joyous time of the year, but not every child has a joyous holiday. So when out shopping, pick up a gift or two to drop off at a local toy drive and make this holiday season a brighter one for the little ones. We're doing a toy drive right here if you want to call 909-885-8502. This message has been brought to you courtesy of Debbie and the staff at Kcaa's Creation at 2372 West Ramsey Street in Banning. Trust their years of experience for all your dog or cat grooming needs. Daycare available too. Call Kcaa's Creations 951-849-6622. They're wishing everyone a happy holiday season.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is our New Year's gift to you. Circle this date, Friday, January 15th. You're invited to start the new year off right with a subscription to BuySellMakeOffer.com. Some other selling sites can be sketchy, and even others will charge you a fee on every item you list. But with BuySellMakeOffer.com, you can sell your washer, dryer, cars, or even your home with no per-item fees. And you can use Skype, make a video. You can actually see the person you're buying from, or they can see you, all to better sell your product. Wouldn't you like a feeling of security when you buy or sell? That's why we call it BuySellMakeOffer.com. And you don't have to wait until January 15th to find out what the buzz is all about. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and type in your email address so you'll know exactly when the fun will begin. The first 30 days are on us, and then it's as little as $7.95 per month to sell up to 50 items. Join the revolution in online selling with BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Good afternoon. It's 12:03. I'm Di Rice with the latest in live, local, national, and international news here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. A state lawmaker is reintroducing legislation aimed at protecting Californians from inappropriate drone use. Senator Ted Gaines says the six-bill package will keep drone users from bothering citizens, invading property, and interfering with emergency responders.
Addressing hobbyist drones and how they're used, and if those drones get into harm's way of public safety, we ought to be moving forward and taking steps to make sure we're protecting the public.
The set of bills introduced by Gaines last session got a unanimous bipartisan support from the legislature, but was vetoed by Governor Jerry Brown.
He said he didn't want to add any more crimes to the books, that we have enough people that are incarcerated.
With more than 1 million new drones expected to be given as holiday gifts, the Rockland Republican believes the problem of drone interference is likely to grow. And the man at the center of last week's massacre in San Bernardino has begun discussing a terrorist attack with his wife even before she came to America last year. He may also have plotted an attack as far back as 2012 with a neighbor who had converted to Islam and who had purchased the two assault rifles used in the shooting. That's according to U.S. senior officials. The neighbor, Enrique Marquez, 24, of Riverside, has spoken at length with federal authorities in recent days about his relationship with the gunman Saeed Farouk, 28, and their planning. Federal officials are still trying to corroborate his account. Marquez told investigators that part of the reason they didn't carry out their plan was because they were spooked by unrelated FBI arrests. And a teen is in a hospital and a juvenile was arrested in Paris following a shooting. Sheriff deputies responded to a call at an apartment complex on Paris Boulevard Wednesday afternoon and found a teen injured. Authorities say investigators were able to obtain information that led them to a suspect. The victim is in critical condition. Inland Empire weather today. A little bit cloudy out there, still a chance of showers, high 63, right now 58, overnight lows 54. Checking out your drive. Off-ramp is blocked at the 215 southbound right at the 6091 interchange still. That was due to a stalled big rig. And that is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in and we will talk. All right, let's talk to Lisa in Williamsport. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How can I help?
Is it okay if I change my question? Because Kelly caught me off guard. I was going to ask a health savings account, but now I want to ask a small business question.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Hi. My husband has a gun shop, and we're plowing through the debt at home and also through the gun shop as well. But because it's inventory, he's having a hard time working with the inventory and then, paying off the debt. And how do you turn that money back around again? I know you grow slow, and he's doing that.
Well, you ought to be making money hand over fist. I've got several friends that own gun shops, and they're booming.
He is, and the business is going really well. In fact, we had $26,000 home equity loan that we got talked into to grow his business.
Okay, and so he has debt on the business to carry his inventory. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and we
How
have
much?
loaned through that, and we're down to only $8,000.
$8,000. $8,000 on the inventory loan.
Yes, on the home equity line of credit that
How did you do that?
What do you mean?
How did you pay it down?
Pulled everything out of it, his profit margin, and threw that at it.
Everything?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you buy new inventory?
Well, he takes the special orders, people call in, but the inventory that he has, because his markup's only about, I think he said about 15 to 20%.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had somebody open a gun shop within 7 miles of us that's really driving the competition, so we're putting that out there. We really want to.
How many dollars does he have tied up in inventory?
And inventory that's in his shop now?
Yes. What's his current inventory worth?
Oh, my goodness, easily probably $200,000.
Okay. So he's carrying a good line.
Yes, he's got a lot of stuff, and he doesn't have like 10 of one thing. He'll have one of everything.
Yeah.
So that people see it, they order it, or they take it, and he replaces what comes in.
Exactly. And so really all we're talking about is taking $8,000 out of your profits to pay off your last little bit of loan.
Yeah.
And he ought to be making good profit.
Yeah, because right now he's not taking any income off the shop at all because we're trying to pay through that debt.
That $8,000. But, how much is if he's sitting on $200,000 worth of inventory, you ought to be turning that.
I don't know.
Yeah, what do you know? Does he know his inventory turn rate?
No.
Okay, what that means is how often he goes through the $200,000 worth of inventory. And I would have guessed he was rolling it at least once a month.
I know he files taxes quarterly.
Okay. You guys don't have an accounting system.
We do not.
Your accounting system sucks, and that's why you have no money. You can't figure your money out. You're in a hot business. You got strong inventory on your balance sheets. You got a general guess at what your gross margins are, not your net profits. Gross margin is what the gun costs versus what you sell it for.
Right.
And so if you buy it for $1,000 and you sell it for $850, or you buy it for $850 and you sell it for $1,000, that's a 15% gross margin. Mm-hmm. But then you have to pay employees and lights and rent and your husband out of that $150 per gun. Okay, and I'm guessing, and so one of the things you need to know in any business that's inventory driven is what your inventory turn rate is on each SKU. And so if you buy a gun and it turns 6 times during that month, meaning you sell 6 of that particular version during that month, that particular model of gun, and you buy another gun and it doesn't sell but one every 2 months, you don't buy that other one again. You fill the cabinet up with the other one that's turning. You follow me?
Yes, I'm writing notes.
And so you have to know what your inventory turn rate is. You guys need to meet with a good CPA and put a basic set of books on this thing. You don't have to do something overly complicated, but you need to get your hands on where the money's coming from, meaning the inventory turn rate, and where it's going, what your expenses are. I think you're making enough to pull $8,000 more out of the business and be done with this without destroying your inventory or without going into debt to buy future inventory.
And then once you clear up that $8,000, do you just take a portion of that, of your
profits,
profit, and then that you put that towards inventory again?
Well, number one, I'm going to replace what sells and what I want to replace. Okay, so if you sell a gun that's not turning over rapidly, and you replace it with one that is turning over rapidly, so you plow your sales back into inventory that way. As far as the sell $1,000 gun, you replace it with $850 expense. The $1,550 in our example gross profit, then that's what you work with to do other stuff with.
Okay.
But you maintain your inventory level like it is. We don't grow. If you grow the inventory, you have to grow that out of your profits.
Right.
But you don't want to shrink it down. You don't want to just do a going out of business sale and sell it all the way through. But the problem with the business
as well. So he's really trying to just. He started doing consignments now so that he's got an inventory of other people's guns in his shop.
He's got a good inventory.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 200 or 300 guns in there.
He's got it down to this $8,000, and we're
he's just blowing and going and selling weapons. That's what he's doing. I mean, but we need to stop and look at the business rather than just working in the business. Let's work on the business.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to order him shirts to get him advertising, and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, but you're going to have to get a handle on where the money's coming from, where the money's going, because that accounting will talk to you about what's working in the business and what's not. What we do know is you're in such a great that space is so hot right now. You have a tremendous ability to make money, but as soon as it tightens up, as soon as it slows down again, and it does ebb and flow, depending on what the president chooses to do.
Right.
He's the best gun salesman ever made. But every time he barks a gun or burps gun, then everybody goes bananas for about 3 or 4 weeks, and the last 3 or 4 weeks have been that. You can't even get near a gun store lately. So, but anyway, aside from that, the problem is your business is a little bit faddish. And as soon as it slows down a little bit and that competition down the street tightens things up, your weaknesses are going to become very, very apparent. And so we want to go ahead and find those now and find your strengths. And the accounting is what tells you where your strengths and your weaknesses are.
Okay.
Inside the business. It's the tea leaves you read to find out what's happening.
So I need to hire like a CPA.
You don't need to hire one full time, but you need to get one on board to show you how to build some basic stuff and get a simple little bookkeeping software. Something like FreshBooks would be a good one to get in place.
Yeah, because right now we just have a bank account that says do business as.
Yeah, you have a bank account. You throw all the money in, you take all the money out, and you pray God there's some left.
Yep.
That's not accounting, okay?
Okay.
That's running around by the seat of your pants, kiddo. And you're going to get taken out. The competition and the swing in the market's going to put you out of business if you don't get on top of that. So hold on. I'm going to send you a copy of our book, Entree Leadership, which is how we've grown our business from a card table in our living room to where it is now. But accounting it's essential. It's essential, especially in a business like that.
the founder of a world-renowned symphony made up of children.
The Inland Empire's most heroic teacher.
The world-famous mixed martial arts hero, Baptiste Mansour.
The lady who's saving homeless kids in Redlands.
The Inland Empire has thousands of community, business, and kid heroes. Each week, we share their stories with you. Join us for My Awesome Empire and find out why the Inland Empire is so great.
Saturday afternoons at 5 p.m. on AM 1050 and KCAAradio.com.
Get your earplugs ready for the next rave at the Orange Show. Find out when in the calendar section of the Grand Terrace City News. You can also catch local education, business, and sports and entertainment news in print and online at GrandTerraceCityNews.com. The Grand Terrace City News,
partner,
local news.
Howard Russell, who is the CEO and president of Christian Healthcare Ministries. Howard, it works. It's affordable for followers of Christ. This is, in fact, an actual ministry. It's not just a word in the title of your organization.
There's a wonderful model that members in all 50 states, they pay a monthly membership fee. If they have medical bills, they send those bills into us. We send the money to the member who then pays the bills. That model works because it finds its basis in the Bible in Acts chapters 2 and 4. That's what we do, and we are legal, plus we are more affordable.
You can go to chministries.org. That's chministries.org. And on their website, you can get every answer that you could possibly ever need, and you can communicate with their amazing team. So check it out now, chministries.org.
This is KCAA.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features
Dennis Baxter from Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, George. I'm very proud that Habitat for Humanity San Bernardino area has been serving the residents of the area since 1992, so that's 24 years of building homes and building hope. Each partner family participates in our own curriculum in the greater San Bernardino area that provides guidance and resources to a successful long-term experience as being a homeowner. We have financial literacy classes that they go through so they understand the difference between being a homeowner and being a renter. Our Brush with Kindness program helps out low-income folks with, simple chores around the house. And, of course, our Restore, located in Redlands, is a real part of our fundraising effort. So it's building homes, it's building hope. Folks can give us a call at 909-478-1176 or habitatsb.org.
This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Imagine that you're among the 4 out of 5 people who received help paying for quality health coverage through Cover California at the lowest possible cost. Imagine seeing a doctor for everyday aches and pains, unexpected emergencies, and preventative care. Imagine receiving help finding a health plan that's absolutely right for you and your family. Imagine not having to imagine.
Covered California. It's more than just health care. It's life care. Visit CoveredCA.com to find free, local, in-person help or enroll online by December 15th to have coverage by January 1st.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show, right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You can follow me on Twitter at Dave Ramsey. About 700,000 of you do. Andrew says, if there are two people, both serious about money, and the first is paying off a mortgage, and the second is renting and saving cash for a house, which is more wise? Well, if we were going to assume exactly the same sets of income and exactly the same set of size of house to purchase, the other thing we'd have to assume to answer the question correctly with math would be that the rent was low, very low, and very reasonable. And it'll change the numbers dramatically depending on the ratio of house you're going to buy to the income that you have. An example would be, let's say you wanted to buy a $100,000 house and you made $100,000, and you were newly married and you lived in a garage apartment out back of some rich old lady's house for $250. And so you saved $50,000 a year for 2 years and you bought a house for $100,000 cash. I think we would call that very wise versus buying a house at the immediately and paying it off over 2 or 3 or in that case 5 years maybe. Now, here's why we would call that wise. The way I answer questions is what would I do if I were in your shoes? So it's a little bit twisted to jump into this scenario, Andrew. It would be, we haven't bought a house yet. Do we take out a mortgage or do we rent cheap and save up and pay cash? That's an apples to apples comparison. You can't say someone's already bought a house and then paying that off versus saving up to pay cash is not apples to apples, because them selling the house, might or might not be the right thing to do. In other words, I very seldom tell somebody to sell a house once they're in it, as long as it's something they can afford, and instead just crank their way through it and pay it off. But if someone calls me and says, hey, should I save up and pay cash before I buy my house, or should I, by renting cheap and piling up a big pile of cash, or should I just buy now and pay it off as fast as I can, I would tell you save up and pay cash for it. I would call that the wiser. The way I know that, the way I decided that was, again, what would Dave Ramsey do? Now, the way I make my decisions on almost anything, if I can figure out what the Bible says about it, I do that. And the Bible does not say anything good ever about debt. There's not one time it's mentioned positively in the Bible. Every time debt's mentioned, you're a fool, you're a slave, it's a bad idea, it's a curse. Every time that debt is brought up, that's what it says. Now, that's God speaking as far as I'm concerned, because I'm a Christian. And so I believe that God is speaking there. Now, I don't believe that he's saying that you're going to go to hell if you get a MasterCard or a mortgage. It's not a salvation issue. As a matter of fact, I'm positive Scripture does not say that. I also do not even think that it's a sin. Some people say debt is a sin. I don't find that in the Bible. I just think it pretty much says you're stupid. So biblically speaking, debt is stupid. It's not a sin, not a salvation issue. Now, the only reason I let my foot off the gas on that, when someone's buying a home here on the air, is to get a mortgage. A lot of people aren't going to wait. They're not going to do the other stuff we talk about anyway. And so I just try to slow them down and keep them as tight as I can, and then turn and get the house paid off as soon as possible. I, however, personally never borrow money for anything in any circumstance. You cannot make me afraid or happy or greedy enough to borrow money to go into a deal. There's nothing I want that bad, ever. I want to be debt-free more than there's anything on the planet I want. And so I will never trade that, because it's given me that much freedom. It's given me that much peace. And I'm convinced it's one of the reasons I've become wealthy, is I don't have any stinking payments. When you don't have any payments, you know what you have? Money. All the money's not going out the door. When all you do is make money and pay payments, you're broke. You've lost control of your most powerful wealth-building tool, which is your income, and the borrower is slave to the lender. So, to answer your question, Andrew, if we were looking at two, say, young couples as an example that don't own a home, and they're at the starting line, who's wiser? Who's going to end up ahead at the finish line? If they're sitting there, one's going to go buy a house now and the other's going to rent very inexpensively and save up and pay cash for a home very, very quickly, not over 30 years, but over 3 or 4 or 5 years, they're going to save up and pay cash for their first home and get started. I'm going to tell you that I think the debt-free couple is going to, when they cross the finish line, have more money. And that's because I believe in God. And I believe he says don't borrow money, and he wouldn't say that if borrowing money worked. Now, that sounds pretty basic, but here's the deal. There's tons of math to back that up, and we can approach this academically, we can approach it spiritually, and I can show you and I can walk you through a bazillion ways. But, dude, if you never – I talked to a guy last night. Sharon and I went to a Christmas party last night, and I talked to a guy last night that was worth almost $1 billion, several $100 million. And he comes up to me at this party and starts telling me his story because he knew, what I do on the radio. And I had never met him before. And he starts telling me, I have never borrowed a dime in my life. I've never had a car payment. I've never had a house payment. I started from nothing. My parents were dirt farmers. I had nothing. And I took a job as a teacher making $5,800 a year in 1962 or whatever it was. And I took that money and I saved and I paid cash for our first little house. And I saved and I paid cash for our first little piece of dirt. And I built a house on that with cash and I sold that house. And and then I did this and then I did that. And he just over the years has built his wealth out of his cash flow, and it's grown exponentially. And I meet more of those than I do people who leveraged their way into wealth, borrowed their way into wealth. There's very few of those. Occasionally I run into one, but almost none. So that's it. That's what it comes down to. The borrower is slave to the lender. And so I'm going to tell you, if I can talk you into paying cash for everything, I'm going to try. Now, Wells Fargo is running an ad right now that everybody's tweeting me with this, this goober on there saying, don't listen to the debt boogeyman. The debt is not a boogeyman. And, of course, that's aimed at me because I'm telling people debt's stupid, never borrow money, never borrow money. And I also tell people never to go do business with mega banks like Wells Fargo. I mean, why would you do business with a bank like Wells Fargo or Bank of America or Chase? I mean, you're a number. They don't care about you. They really don't. And truthfully, most of the best bankers in the business, and I'm not against bankers, but why would you do business with a mega bank? They're horrible. The customer service is horrendous. It's and then they run ads like that, It's like Discover Card. What is it? Discover Card's got the Freedom Card. That's so stupid. That's like government service. A Freedom credit card. That's an oxymoron. DMV service line. If the DMV had a line that said fast lane for you to get your paperwork done fast, we all know what that would mean. It would be a lie. And so we know that's not going to happen. So think. Of course a bank is going to tell you borrowing money is a good idea. It's where they make all their money is on debt. That's how they make everything. Of course that's what they're going to say. Think, people. Why would you do business with Wells Fargo anyway? It's just dumb. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
California headline news, new injury numbers from last week's mass shooting in San Bernardino.
We now have a 22nd injured who checked herself into a hospital and realized that she had been injured in the initial attack last Thursday.
David Bowditch with the FBI at a news conference at a lake about 3 miles from the shooting location. Dive teams searching the lake.
You're listening to
a hard drive belonging to the shooters. In Washington, congressional Democrats say they shouldn't be letting down the families of victims of shooting crimes, making another push for gun controls.
How transformative that was to lose a family member in such a violent way and not see any action honor or otherwise on the part of the Congress of the United States.
House Minority Leader and California Representative Nancy Pelosi pushing for expanded background checks. A civil rights attorney filing suit against San Francisco police on behalf of the family of Mario Woods. Police shot him to death when they say he refused commands to drop a knife. Geico weather, more rains around the state today. Jeff Scott, California News.
Basketball fans, get your Lux on at Luxor Las Vegas. Make a fast break for shows including Fantasy, the Strip's sexiest adult review, Chris Angel Believe from Cirque du Soleil and Carrot Top, or Slam Dunk Rockin' Mexican flavors from TNT Tacos and Tequila, or comfort food and cocktails at Public House. Save your biggest plays for LAX Nightclub featuring the hottest dance music from resident DJs and live entertainment in a high-energy atmosphere. When the buzzer sounds, recover in our comfortable rooms and suites. Get your Lux on at Luxor.com.
When you're running your own business, you're bound to be busy. Too busy. Too busy worrying about your budget. Too busy scheduling appointments. Too busy to build a website for your business. And because you're too busy, it has to be easy. And that's where Wix.com comes in. With Wix.com, it's easy for you to create your stunning website. Go to Wix.com and create your website today. It's easy and free. That's Wix.com.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. This December, visitors at the Orange Empire Railway Museum will have the opportunity to embark upon a magical train ride to the North Pole and visit Santa Claus at his workshop. Along the way, passengers can enjoy Christmas jingles, holiday trivia games, and storytelling with the elves. Upon arrival, they'll be greeted by Santa himself. Then, at Santa's North Pole Workshop, guests can visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus, take photos, play on Thomas play tables, and do various craft activities, as well as enjoy refreshments. Ticket prices are $10 for ages 2 through 11 and $15 for ages 12 and up. The Orange Empire Railway Museum is giving away a number of free tickets at Facebook.com/Orange Empire Railway Museum and Instagram at Instagram.com/Orange Empire Railway Museum. However, seats are filling up fast, and it's strongly suggested to book quickly. The holiday event will take place Fridays through Sundays, beginning December 4th through December 20th. Call for North Pole train ride times at 951-943-3020 or visit OERM.org for the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris. And that's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company has been serving the greater Inland Empire for over 60 years. For all of your printing needs, from full-color printing to high-speed copying and everything in between, go to Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. Their staff is committed to your total satisfaction. Great service isn't just lip service at Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. It's the way they do business year after year. Having trouble finding drafting supplies? Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company still carries a complete selection. Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company is rated high in customer satisfaction by Value Star, an independent rating company. For all of your personal or business printing, call Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company at 909-792-3478. That's 792-3478, or visit them on New York Street in Redlands off the I-10 and the Crosstown Freeway.
Music Changing Lives, KCAA, and Daniels Jewelers are working together to make Christmas brighter for thousands of children in the Inland Empire. Random Act of Kindness is a toy drive orchestrated by Music Changing Lives, and KCAA is a collection station. We will be collecting gifts until December 22nd, Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. If you bring by a gift for a child worth $15 or more, you'll get a $50 off coupon card from Daniels Jewelers. Drop off your $15 donation at KCAA, located at 254 Carousel Mall in San Bernardino. For more information, call Di Rice, that's me, at 909-885-8502. Again, 909-885-8502. Music Changing Lives, Daniel's Jewelers, and KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. Thank you.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Alex is with us. Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome, welcome. Where are you from?
From Atlanta.
Well, thank you. Thanks for driving up from Atlanta. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
And here to do your debt-free scream.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How much debt have you paid off?
Just over $175,000.
Wow. And how long did that take you?
8 months.
Okay. All right. And what was your household income during that time?
I started at $32,000 and now I'm right at $60,000.
Okay. Obviously, those numbers don't add up.
Yeah,
what kind of
not
debt?
in the traditional way.
Yeah. What kind of debt was that?
A little bit of student loan, a little bit on a truck, and my mortgage.
Oh, you paid off the house and everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 8 months ago, you started a journey. Tell me the story.
Sure. We'll back the story up a little bit from the 8 months, if that's okay.
Sure.
In December,
it's your story.
In December of 2013, my boyfriend at the time was diagnosed with a terminal cancer.
Oh, no.
Yes. And in January of 2014, we got engaged.
Mm-hmm.
May of 2014, we got married. He went through chemo, radiation, treatment, was in remission in November of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this time, I was working overnights, commuting an hour to go to the University of Georgia to finish my degree and listening to your show as I drove back and forth.
What's your degree in?
Management information systems.
Okay.
I'm a technology consultant.
Okay.
So when Jesse was in remission of last year, in November, I decided for Christmas I would ask for your book, and he and I were going to get on the plan, and we were going to do this. Life was good. It was on the upswing. So received the book for Christmas, and January of this year, his cancer came back, and February 5th of this year, he passed away.
Wow.
Thankfully,
How old was he?
32.
So you were married 18 months?
No, we were married 9 months, less than a year.
Oh, 9 months.
Yes,
9
sir.
months. But
Yes,
you've been okay.
We've been together before that, correct?
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. All right.
And so I am at the time, 26-year-old widow with proceeds from a life insurance policy. More money at once than I've ever had in my life, and wanted to make wise decisions with it.
He had life insurance.
He had life
before
insurance.
you even dating then?
Correct, through work.
Wow. Oh, through work. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Couldn't get a policy once we were married because of the diagnosis.
Yeah, even
right.
before, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I sat for some time, had the money, and wanted to make him proud and make wise decisions with it, and got counseling and advice and talked to a financial advisor. This is what I want to do. Am I thinking about this in the right way? And got the go-ahead and the thumbs up and the yes, you are. And so I wrote the checks, and I paid off his truck and paid off my student loans and paid off our home. And my journey maybe not as long as some people who have come here and shared their stories, and, not digging down deep like some people have, but if I can step on a soapbox for just a moment and talk to the people that are my age, the newlyweds in their 20s, that life is good and life is exciting, and yes, it is, but you're not invincible, and take care of your loved ones. So you newlyweds, get your wills in place and get your life insurance in place while you're healthy. I know it's not funny to talk about, or it's not fun to talk about death when you're in your 20s or in your 30s or ever for that matter, but these things happen. So take our story as the nudge, the encouragement, what have you, that have fun, enjoy your life, sure, but also get your things in order.
What kind of cancer did he have?
He had multiple myeloma,
Okay.
which is a blood cancer. Typically diagnosed in 60 and 70 and 80-year-old patients. He had no family history of it. Healthy guy, law enforcement. He was in the Marine Corps, all of that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he serving at the time?
He was a reservist, so working full-time job and then in the reserves as well.
Okay. Was that where the insurance was, or the full-time?
The full-time.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Wow. And I don't even know what to ask. I'm dumbfounded. I mean, that you can stand up here and do this is your level of poise is just absolutely amazing.
Thank you. It's not easy. It's easier to talk about now than it was in February or in March or in April.
Absolutely.
But not easy by any means. I would take all the debt back to have him here, but he's not, and
heartbeat,
and that's okay. My prayer when it came back was, God, if you're going to take this away from him, take it away from him, please. If not, take him quickly. Don't let him suffer, and so that's okay. I can have peace, with that, knowing that he's not suffering.
It was real quick, the second time, huh?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. And so you're 27 now?
I'll be 27 on Sunday.
Wow. Yes. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, it's a great reminder for everybody listening to make sure they get their wills in place and get life insurance in place, because you just don't know. You just don't know.
Yep.
And so, obviously, your all spiritual life was healthy?
Yes, it was, a place, between our faith, between, prayers from us and family and friends and all of that, and then the support of family and friends. It made a really difficult situation that much, or a little bit easier,
Yeah, I don't know how people deal with it that don't.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Absolutely. Wow. And so you're back at work?
I'm back at work.
Living life?
Yep, so I graduated school in May. Started my new job in July, and I'm actually working on a client here in Nashville, so I was up here working this week and then spending the day here with y'all. So, life is headed in a good direction, all things considered.
Absolutely. Considering that February is when all that went down.
Yes.
Wow. So the whole story is less than 2 years.
Yes.
Long.
Yep.
From then till now. This is 2015 December, so 2013 December. It's a 2-year story.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's quick.
Yes,
you crammed a lot of life into 2 years.
A lot of life, a lot of learning, a lot of emotion, it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah,
that's my description for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're obviously a brave young woman.
Thank you.
Amazingly poised. I'm not sure I'm going to get through sitting here talking to you, and you're doing better than I am. So it's amazing. Wow. Well, it's not the way we want to end up debt-free, that's for sure, but it is the result, if you go through this, that you do want to have.
Yes, definitely.
It's where you want to be, which is what your soapbox is about. It's about make sure you have the life insurance in place, make sure you have the will in place, because you're standing here right now feeling very loved as a result.
Yes, definitely.
And you're financially set. And able to go a whole lot of directions from here, and the healing process that you go through is completely different than if you were completely broke right now and had medical bills piled up around you.
Exactly.
Yes. So, very, very good man, serving his country, and his wife's taken care of, and life is, we salute him right now for sure. What was his name again? Jesse.
Jesse.
All right.
Staff Sergeant Jesse Souza.
All right. Alex and Jesse from Atlanta, Georgia, $175,000 paid off in 8 months, making $32,000 to $60,000 a year. Count it down, Alex. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, Jess, this one's for you. 3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free.
Yes! Wow. Well, you just don't get that on talk radio. Well, you do here. Because life happens here on this show to remind us how to live our lives better every day. Thank you, Alex. Absolutely amazing. This is The Dave Ramsey Show.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show, right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks. And I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
Moreno Valley schools have more vocational education programs for students. Find out more in the Moreno Valley City News. You can also find local business, sports, and entertainment news. The Moreno Valley News in print and online at MorenoValleyCityNews.com.
Hey, Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where KCAA is located?
Of course, but there's more than just KCAA here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashions where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to KCAA.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel Mall. We're open.
For more info, go to kcaaradio.com.
The Redlands Passenger Rail Project is going to happen. Get the information expressed on this story and more in the Redlands City News. Catch local stories posted online daily. The Redlands City News, online at redlandscitynews.com or in print at locations near you.
Go ahead and say it. We're all ears. KCAA.
Do radio now. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Oh my gosh. All right, Kylie, you're in Midland, Texas. How are you, Kylie?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. You too.
How can I help today?
Well, me and my fiance started your 7-step program on Monday. of this week. And since then, we kind of have just dove into it head first and just have been reevaluating every aspect of our life, every future decision we were going to make, like a mortgage and things like that. But the question I had is that at the beginning of November, we actually purchased, or actually not purchased because we're taking a loan out on it. It's a 2016 Tahoe.
Just the other day you bought one.
Yes, just the other day, right before we started this class. And it's $62,000 is what we have a loan on for it, and we have $1,112 a month for monthly payments. And we're wanting to know if we should save up and pay off the difference and get out of this as quickly as possible, or if we should just tackle it as hard as we can and pay it off as quickly as we can.
What is your household income?
Together we make about $124,000.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, yet?
The Total Money Makeover.
That's where the 7 baby steps are.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. And as you read through that, here's what we tell folks about vehicles. Cars go down in value like a rock. They drop really, really quickly. Okay? Mm-hmm. And they're the largest thing that we buy, most of us as consumers, that goes down in value. And so a rule of thumb, if you want to be wealthy, is to not buy things that go down in value, buy things that go up in value, or at least as little as possible. You follow me? Mm-hmm. So based on that, the way I answer questions is I use 2 things to look at your situation when someone asks me a question, should I sell a car? Number 1, does all of your cars added up equal more than half, anything with a motor in it, cars, boats, trucks, 4-wheelers, whatever, and all your things with a motor in them added up equal more than half your annual income. If it does, you probably have too much tied up in things that are going down in value. And the answer in your situation is yes, you do have that. You're over half your annual income, because if you have another car.
Yes,
and,
we do.
and then the second question is, can you be completely debt-free, everything but your house, going gazelle intense, which you've started doing? You guys went crazy on Monday. I mean, you said, we're doing this. We're getting out. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to change my life. We're going to go crazy here. And that's what you did Monday, right?
Right.
And when you do that, can you be debt-free without selling the car within 2 years? And the answer, again, is no. Because you've got other debts in addition to this, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And so the likelihood of clearing all of that in 2 years is very, very low. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but if I woke up in your shoes, what would I do is how I answer questions. I would sell that car immediately, and I would borrow the difference if I had to.
Borrow the difference?
Yeah, I'd get it. I'd get it sold as soon as I possibly can, without giving it away. I mean, we're not going to take a $25,000 hit or something like that. But I mean, I would start talking to the dealer, and I would start putting it on Craigslist. It's going to take a while to sell a $60,000 truck.
Right.
I mean, it's not an easy thing to sell. It's a very, very expensive car.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're probably not going to get out of it quickly, and it's probably going to cost you $10,000.
Okay.
That's my guess, before you get out of it. I mean, it probably costs you that to drive it off the lot. Right. The only thing I would ask is this. Your credit's pretty clean, I guess.
It is. Mine's pretty clean. Yeah, we're pretty clean.
You know, I'd roll back down to that dealer, because you barely got this car home.
Right.
And see if you can talk them into letting you write them some kind of a check to putting that car back on the lot.
Okay.
And just go, if I write you a $5,000 check, will you take it back? And then go borrow the $5,000 to do it. Because every day you keep that car, it's going to be a bigger mess quickly. I mean, the worst 6 months of that car's life, value-wise, is the next 6 months. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
The curve on the loss of value is the steepest right now. And so while it's still really, really fresh, I'd run back down there and sit down with them face-to-face, get with the general manager and say, look, we've decided to get out of debt. We've made a huge mistake. We want to write a check and let you buy this car back, sell this car back to you. And we know you've got to put it on the lot. And what will you give us for it? And don't try to rip us off. Help us out here, because we've gotten in over our heads. and just help a young couple out and try to play the pity card a little bit and see, But if you can write a $5,000 or a $10,000 check or something like that and get out of it real quick, that's probably going to be your best bet. And you're going to have to borrow the money over at the credit union to do that. And then just get you a little beater of some kind, a little $1,000, $2,000 car to drive. I know that's a big step down, but we're not driving junk the rest of our life. We're just driving it right now. But if you'll drive like no one else, later you can drive like no one else. If you'll live like no one else, later you can live like no one else.
Definitely, yes. Okay.
Are you willing to sell the car?
I'm willing. I mean, me and my fiance talked about this, and at first, if because we thought we were going to follow this to the T, and I said, well, I never imagined that we'd have to take back the car, and so at first it was, he asked me if there was something you had to let go, what would it be? And I said, well, getting my nails in every week. I love doing that. Now it's my car, and so, but we really jumped into this, and it's just really touched us, and we decided that if it comes down to this, then yes, we will give this car back. We will sell it.
Then I'm going to pay for you to go through Financial Peace University, our 9-week class.
Really?
I'm going to give it to you for Christmas, okay?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much.
All right. You hold on. I'm going to have Kelly pick up. We're going to get you signed up for the class because you're willing to do what it takes to win. And if you're willing to do that, I'm willing to help you. And then you call me back when you're debt-free, and we want to hear your debt-free scream. And you remind me about this story. And Kelly will be sure to put you on for a good debt-free scream in a few months, a few years, whatever it is, right? Whatever long it takes you to get out of debt, everything but your house. And then we want to hear the backside of this story. You guys are going to go win. Thanks for the call. Josie is with us in Sarasota, Florida. Hi, Josie. How are you?
Hi, Dave. It's such a pleasure to talk to you.
You too. What's up?
I went through Financial Peace University last year. It was the best $100 I've ever spent. I was so happy to find out that there is a community of weird people out there. I thought I was the only weird people that didn't like that.
That's good.
So I'm very happy. My husband and I are completely debt-free except for a home. And this is my question, because this home that we bought, it was a great buy. We bought right after the crisis, so we bought it for $125,000, and it's not worth $250,000. But it's not our dream home. Mm-hmm. And we just got $70,000 from a sale of a property my husband had in our home country, Brazil. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to apply that money towards buying our dream home, which would be around $300,000, only $50,000 more than what our current home is worth. So do you think that I should hold on to this money and use it towards the down payment of our dream home?
When are you going to sell the home that you're in and make the buy of the dream home?
Right, that's my question. I'm not sure if I should sell it now and then have all cash to pay for the home, but what if the home doesn't come up? And then I lose the opportunity, and then I won't have a home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so the home you want is not for sale?
It's not for sale because we want something with between 3 and 5 acres, and it's kind of hard to come up. Mm-hmm. But when it does, there's multiple offers. So if we had cash, maybe we'd have a better chance of getting it. Mm-hmm. But I'm just afraid of selling my current home, which is not bad at all, and then be living on a rental for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, $70,000 is not cash. That's just a down payment.
Right.
So that doesn't solve that part of the equation doesn't solve your problem. So if you're not going to put your home up for sale and then go buy a house when your home sells, then I would pay it down on the mortgage.
So should I just apply towards the mortgage?
Yeah. Yep. And then because you get the money back out when you sell it.
Right. So, but how am I going to buy the new home if I won't have the money for the
You're going to sell the house you're in. You need to sell it anyway.
And rent it for a little while?
Well, if you can either buy the house you're trying to buy on contingent on the sale of yours and get yours sold simultaneously, or you'll have to put yours up for sale and then rent for a while you're looking. Either one. And I'm okay either direction, but you don't need to own 2 houses at one time. You set yourself up for a problem. A big problem. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Music Changing Lives, Kcaa and Daniel's Jewelers are working together to make Christmas brighter for thousands of children in the Inland Empire. Random Act of Kindness is a toy drive orchestrated by Music Changing Lives, and Kcaa is a collection station. We will be collecting gifts until December 22nd, Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. If you bring by a gift for a child worth $15 or more, you'll get a $50 off coupon card from Daniel's Jewelers. Drop off your $15 donation at Kcaa, located at 254 Carousel Mall in San Bernardino. For more information, call Di Rice, that's me, at 909-885-8502. Again, 909-885-8502. Music Changing Lives, Daniel's Jewelers, and KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. Thank you.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online, launching January 15th.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. A big sell-off on Wall Street on sliding oil, the price of crude falling after the International Energy Agency said the glut would continue until late next year and demand would weaken. Traders are also cautious ahead of the Federal Reserve's two-day policy-setting meeting, which wraps up on Wednesday. It's widely expected the Fed will begin hiking key interest rates from their record low levels. Recent economic reports indicate the economy